Back in 2018, Monster debuted at Sundance Film Festival and has finally seen the light on Netflix this week. And holy shit, is this one gut-wrenching movie. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today I'm going to be discussing Netflix's brand new original film and its new indie drama, Monster. Now, this is, of course, a crime drama starring the likes of Kelvin Harrison Jr., who I am a major fan of, and that is the main reason that I wanted to check out this movie. But it also stars the likes of John David Washington and Jeffrey Wright. It's about a smart, likable, and 17-year-old film student from Harlem who sees his world turned upside down when he is charged for a murder. Now follow his dramatic journey through a complex legal battle. I was, again, looking forward to this one due to the fact that it is Kelvin Harrison Jr., one of my favorite up-and-coming actors right now. Every time this guy stars in something, he blows me away with his performance, no matter what film it is. It could be a crime drama, it could be a major drama, it could be any sort of things like that, but it also could be a comedy, and he just nails it every single time. He sees the assignment, and he hits that. And for me, I think Monster, of course, this came out 3 years ago, probably, 20. It's been a long time, and this film is finally getting the distribution that it deserves. And for me, I think Monster is a very impactful movie, and it's one that can be frustrating at times, especially with the stuff that is going on in our world today. But it's one that really much, it's gut-wrenching. It affected me, and you're very much in it the entire way through. The structure of the film is very unique. And in the way that it kind of captures and takes on everything in its light, it's really unique. Because it flashes to the past, it flashes to here. And sometimes films that do that, that jump around its timeline, can really mess with me and really take me out of the moment. But for some reason, this time around, it actually fit for every part of the story that it needed to be in. And I really dug how they were able to bring that about in an establishment from a writing standpoint and a directing standpoint. But of course, before we get any further in this review, guys, if you guys are new here and you guys love talking movies as well, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you guys are up to date on all sorts of early movie reviews and TV reviews over here on a daily basis, as well as comment down below and let me know your guys' thoughts. How excited are you for Monster? Have you been looking forward to this movie? Have you already seen it? Let's discuss it all down there. Kind of jumping back over into this film, let's talk about the performances because, again, Kelvin Harrison Jr. is phenomenal in here. If I would have seen this back in 2018, I would have been like, we need to look out for this kid because he's so good in here. And, he gets better with each performance. Now, again, this coming out before the films that I had seen him in previously, I can totally see where he had started at and the promising young factor that he already had in there. Just the small, subtle emotions that he brings within his facial structures is kind of some of the biggest elements that it is. Because what I've learned, especially with learning and watching and observing actors, is some actors will kind of go bombastic and so loud and it doesn't work. Sometimes it can feel a little bit overly natured. But with him, it's so subtle, and just seeing the fear and the sadness and, in general, the hatred that he might have for the situation that he is in, but even the guilt that maybe he feels that this is all my fault in some way, shape, or form. And I think a lot of us have gone through certain scenarios where we've looked back on the past and we've been like, this could have gone in a completely different route if I just did this or that. And he's such a relatable character, especially for me. He's a film student. I'm huge into film. That's something that I want to do. But even though, I have never been in a situation like him and in the shoes that he is filled in, or even felt the way that he is, especially in the crime system that we are in, and especially in the legal system, and if you've watched any of those damn cases, they're totally terrible at times. There's stuff like this, in our society right now, that it's very hard to watch a film like this, but at the same time, you can feel relatable and very much be on his side the entire way through, and very much battling this legal thing and only hoping for the best at the end. It's, again, even though it jumps around, the family element in here is a big aspect. His relationship with his father, his mother, all those elements, even his friends and even his teachers, the people around him. It's so perfect how they were able to really establish that in here. It might jump around, but you get so emotionally invested in here that by the end, you have chills down your spine and you are feeling overwhelmed with so much emotion. Once again, I think a lot of this works not just because of the performances in here, because everyone's great. Not just Kelvin Harrison Jr., but Jeffrey Wright is phenomenal. I mean, this guy blows away every single time he comes on screen, no matter how big or small his performance is. And Jennifer Ely is a very big part, an important part for this entire story. I think one of the biggest things that stuck out to me the most was, again, that direction and writing that I already mentioned with the way that they told this story structure, but it's the way that he tells it all. This is a very cemented style already. I was very excited to see Mandler, the director of this, really come into his fruition and take on this own style of his. Because even though it is based off a novel, I think the way that it was adapted to the big screen was actually in a really unique style. And again, invest you, because we've seen so many stories like this before. The way that they were able to tell this one, again, felt timely, relevant, and very much mature. Not anything of that cheesy stuff that we can get in some of these films nowadays, but very much feeling perfect for what it needed to tell. I think Monster ends up being one of the most important films so far of 2021. I'm happy this film's finally getting to see some light and that Netflix is releasing this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. It is a hard watch at times, but it is one that I think everyone needs to see. So with all that said, I'm going to give Monster an A-. Thank you once again, guys, for clicking on this. You guys are seriously all the best. Make sure to head on over to Samtron Films on how to see films early. And, of course, just a big thank you to you and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I would not be able to do this. So, of course, guys, until next time, stay classy.